Ho. This is Ho from Saigon Tiger. Now, one thing I like to mention is that when you're traveling through Vietnam, people always say it's a land of contrast. And contrast in what? You've got rich people and you've got the dirt poor people. But one thing that is the great equalizer in Vietnam is what they call is nhau, which is like in Australia, we like our booze in Vietnam, but we match it with food. So that is where the equalizer part is. The rich will eat very much the same as what the poor with alcohol. So this is one of the my favorite dish when it comes to alcohol and Vietnamese food. So this is called bò lá lốt. Basically it's beef grilled with betel leaf. Now this you can get in, if you're in Sydney you can get it from Bankstown or Cabramatta. But if you're sort of like out regional New South Wales like Dubbo or Coffs Harbour for say, you can substitute this for this baby spinach, and I think it will work just as well with this. All the ingredients here you can buy from your local supermarket, so no specialty stores really required. Okay, so you shouldn't have any problem. Okay, first we've got here ground beef. Got about 1 kilo here. Okay, over here we have lemongrass. Now you can either use frozen or fresh. Today we have fresh, so we'll be using it. So we'll be to 1 kilo of ground beef. In Vietnam we always use a dessert spoon when we're measuring things, so we don't have little sort of like teaspoon and things like that, so we use these. So to here, probably add about two spoon dessert spoon worth in here. Okay, the next thing is Chinese 5-spice powder. You can get this in the supermarket as well. So probably looking about 1.5 spoon worth. The main ingredient to this is curry powder. It's a local supermarket one. You want to add about maybe equal quantity of 5-spice and curry powder, so 1.5 spoon again. Garlic, we've got about 2 cloves. We want it nice and strong and pungent. Okay. Now we're going to have black pepper, so that's about 1 spoon worth there, and a bit of brown sugar. So we want to put in about maybe 1.5 spoons worth. Right. And the other thing, we always use this in Vietnamese cooking. It doesn't have to be this brand. Okay, to any brand of fish sauce. We need this in everything. For 2 generations, my family have been fish sauce makers. So any brand you like from the supermarket, what we want to do is want to add about 2 spoons of fish sauce. Okay, so what we do now is we're going to mix all this together. So with your hands, let's combine it. And the other different thing about how Vietnamese and Australian differ from our boozing culture is that in Vietnam we don't go to a bar. We go to a place that has food and beer together, but we don't sort of like separate from the food and drink. We sit down with one of these little gas burner. You can get this from your local department stores, Kmart, for about 25 bucks or something like that. And a hot griller. You need something to grill your food on. So what they would do is put that in the center of a table, and everybody would sit around the table while you're drinking, you're grilling your food. So no one is really separated away, like in a corner cooking away somewhere where you're missing out all the actions and the fun. So cooking food and drinking alcohol together is, I think, one of the most really fun thing to do, rather than to have the poor cook in the corner somewhere trying to make these things up while you're sitting there drinking. So one person misses out. So basically we want to do this for like an Aussie barbecue. So invite your friends around and we'll do this. Right, so this is nicely mixed through. Ideally you should be just leaving this in the fridge now for about 2-3 hours, or overnight if you want to, just so save some time. But what we do next here is the fun bit. Just get the grill on. Yeah, get it going. What you want to do next is get your betel leaf or your baby spinach. Okay, so when you get your little spoon, take a little portion of it like that, and then putting in the middle, right, and then rolling it up. And getting your skewers piercing the skin like that. So for presentation purposes, what they like to do in Vietnam is to have the shiny side on the outside. So it looks better like that, see? Rather than have the inside on the outside. So basically it's just presentation of the dish. What you do is get a little spoon of this, put it in the leaf. It can be baby spinach. In this case we're using betel leaf if you can't. So a fun thing to do is you can also get your friend to sit around the table while they're drinking their beer. They can help you roll these things up. It just all adds to the atmosphere. But the main difference, what we do in Vietnam, the main difference is that we don't cook all the food together. So when they're having a nhậu session, it goes on for hours and hours and hours. So you don't want to cook all your food in one hit. So what you want to do is just, while your friend's there, you just put some on the griller, and as it cooks, you will eat your food while you're drinking. So when you finish some of these things, you put some more on, and it just goes on through the night. So basically, that's how people in Vietnam enjoy themselves, and it's very much like the Great Australian Barbecue, but just done slightly different. So we have our griller pan here. If you have your friends around the table, you'll be talking about things and your travels and things like that. So we wait till the pan gets nice and hot. You can even do this on charcoal. Ideally it should be done on charcoal, but these things, little gas burners, seem to be taken over nowadays. So what we do is we just place a few of these skewers onto the griller. Okay. So we basically cook it until the leaf starts to wilt down, because it's lean beef, it cooks very quickly. So it doesn't have to be lean beef. It can also be slightly fatty, cheaper grind of beef. Works just as well. I mean, if you're watching your waistline, well then go for the lean beef one. So we're just grilling these at the moment. It's doing very well, so it leaps back the wilt and it releases wonderful aroma. So we're flipping it over. It takes about maybe 2-3 minutes on each side because it's very lean beef. You don't want it to dry out as well. So we just flip it over. Back. They're done. So they're very quick. Okay, so we're taking them off the flame now. Okay. So let me just turn off the gas burner. So basically we just put on a plate in front of your guests, and you know, we would take them off the skewers like that. As you can see, let me just open one up for you. They are nicely cooked through. Okay, so what you do is you leave it like that, and you can use chopsticks or forks or whatever. You just pick one up at a time, drink your beer, have a chat, and dig into that. That is just amazing. It's strong. It's just filled your mouth with wonderful flavours from the Far East. So it's easy to do. Some celebrity chefs have it on their menu. They charge a fortune for it. You don't have to. Make them home. All this probably less than $20, and that's in case of buying all new powders and things like that. So
just run through it again.
So basically, again, we have 5 spice, Chinese 5 spice. Kmart, not Kmart. Coles, Woolworth, they all got it. Curry powder, you can get it anywhere. Okay. We had here garlic, fresh, really good. Sugar, I like brown sugar, gives a better taste. We have here just coarse ground black pepper, it can be fine. And lemongrass. Now you can get this frozen or fresh, it doesn't really matter, tastes just as good. Okay, so and we have betel leaf. A bunch should cost you about $2. If you can't get it, just go for something like a baby spinach and just roll it up. And the most important thing you should never leave home without is fish sauce. It can be any brand. I mean, it's one of the vital ingredients that you need in any form of Vietnamese cooking. Okay, so I'll be back with more recipes for nhậu, which is just alcohol and food, very much like your barbecue, but done slightly different with a lot more intensity in flavors and spices. Okay, so I'll be gearing the recipe toward the fact that you can buy the product even if you're out regional areas. Okay, thank you, bye.